Hello 102, welcome. So as I promised, I would give you the answers to the video on marijuana and the issues that are related to the legalization of medical marijuana regarding the patient, the business person, and the uh, criminal. So I hope you've seen it, and who knows, it might be a subject that might interest you for future presentations in the finals. By the way, I'd like to first start off by saying I hope you are all well and that you're taking care of each other or yourselves and your family. Okay, so the homework that we're looking at is with regards to page 55. You were supposed to watch the video and take notes and then answer the questions on page 55. So I will give you the answers. For question number 1, the patient Stephen Stairs is one of how many medical marijuana patients currently in Canada? And if you chose 40,000, 40,000, 40,000, then you're correct. Number 2, without medical marijuana, Stairs expects to lose his vision and miss out on what important things in life? And we basically can see that he can't watch his kids doing things, and he won't be able to drive himself. He won't be able to see the major landmark events such as graduating or learning how to drive with his children as well. And number 3, what exactly are the new rules that Canada is implementing about medical marijuana? Now, don't forget, this is from 2014, and the new rules are now old, but they were still the issue at the time, and it's nice to have a historical perspective on the legalization of medical marijuana. So if you figured out through the listening that the small-scale producers would no longer be able to grow the product themselves, and they would have to depend on the large scale, the big pharma, then you're on point. So that would be correct. Also, the commercial-based companies are actually, they have to have a certain license, and so the license processing is also quite challenging. For true or false questions, you should always remember you must always support your answer. In this case, for number 4, the businessman Petrov, looking to obtain government license to grow medical marijuana, has always been involved with marijuana, and the answer is false. He is basically an entrepreneur who's had his finger in many other pies, as we say. So he doesn't even use the product. He's not a consumer of marijuana at all. He just wants to make money from it. And Health Canada predicts 1.3 billion market in medical marijuana by 2024. So the answer is true in that event. If you wrote true for this case, it's satisfactory. So essentially these are assumptions based on the transferring of funds from the dispensaries into the actual commercial enterprises. Number 6, why won't Stairs be able to buy medical marijuana from the licensed grower? And that's basically because it's just too expensive. I think he said something to the effect that it would cost him $40,000 per year in order for him to be able to have that product accessible to him if he were to purchase it. So that's something he doesn't have. And as we know, the government at the time wasn't necessarily inclined in supporting it through RAMQ or other drug corporations or drug benefits. So that's something that we can always pursue and look into to see how things have changed today. And then number 7, why will the government close down all the dispensaries? And essentially the answer is that it's not profitable. There is no money to be made for the government. So don't forget, the government, if it stands to make money, it's going to try to make money. Essentially, that was the point at that time, at that period. And the legal concerns, which are really a central issue here, essentially that the ethical problem is that the patients who actually need the product and do want to grow it themselves in order to not worry about the cost of buying it from other sources, other commercial venues, well, they would actually be arrested. So that's the irony: is that they would now become the the criminal. How ironic! So yeah, if they continue to grow illegally, or if they actually make a surplus of the product, then they can actually be considered as drug dealers, and if they sell it, that is. And then we have the supply-related concerns that we find in question number 9. What supply-related concerns do medical marijuana users worry will happen when the new law is passed? And they ask to name 2. And the answer is that it would just basically be too expensive and the quality would be poor. And that, again, is with relation to medical marijuana. And we can probably see that also a concern for the legal marijuana. And the question then, recreational marijuana, the question then becomes, has the actual industry, by making it legal, has it actually eliminated the black market? And that brings us to the other subsequent questions, or question: how do criminals profit from the government's new rule? Basically, it's reasonable to say, it's just common sense, that people will probably go to the underground market because it would be less expensive and the quality would be better, essentially. So it does leave room for a black market, if you will. So there you have it. If you have any questions, I will be holding now and again Zoom meetings. I will invite every single one of you. If you want to join, it's all optional. Yeah, you can always send me an email. Okay, I hope you're well, and I hope you're safe and following the rules of the government in terms of social distancing. Okay, take care.